This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are going hard. Face. Mardu is our next up in the color challenge, so we're going to take a shot with Mardu Knights. Fire away. No removal. None, unless you want to count Black Lance Paragon and its ability to give Death Touch to a knight as a way to trade, but otherwise, just face. Why remove anything when you have to smash face? I think the best gain that you get from adding white to the very powerful Rakdos Knights deck is you get Acclaimed Contender. Acclaimed Contender enters the battlefield, and if you control another knight, you look at your top 5 for a knight or a equipment or legendary artifact and put them into your hand, one of them. Basically that means you get a more consistent Embercleave. You can read that as, I get to Embercleave more and more often. And honestly, this deck should probably have a 4th Embercleave, but I'm being really stingy with my mythics getting ready for the next set. So let's do a little audible here, just because you'll never see this card. I don't recommend crafting this card for the deck if you're watching this and trying to copy exactly what I do. I think you should have a 4th Embercleave, but you never get to play this card. Nobody likes the Circle of Loyalty, so we're going to run one today. The fact that it pumps all creatures means it actually does Anthem the little tokens from Worthy Knight, who is also here in the deck as part of the white package with Inspiring Veteran and Venerable Knight. So, hopefully a more consistent legendary artifact thanks to Acclaimed Contender, and other than that, we just smash the face, build a board, keep attacking, and we have some Smitten Swordmaster Curry Favor for a burn plan as well. Mardu Knights is a deck that I wrote about very early, one of my first articles for Cool Stuff Inc. in a format that was dominated by Oko and Field of the Dead. So with those cards gone, maybe the Knights can shine. Certainly some combination of Rakdos Knights or Mardu Knights or Boros Knights, all kind of knight decks have been popping up along ladder as the aggressive strategies always get to shine. I'm also testing 1 Castle Embereth in my mana base, 24 lands. Castle Embereth can pump all of the Worthy Knights little tokens as well, so I think it might be a good inclusion. And you need that double red for Embercleave. Gotta have it somehow. All right, let's dive in and let the knight nonsense begin. Let our mana be good. Let our mana have 3 colors always, including double reds. Single red, and it comes into play tapped. Ugh, maybe that's why people don't run this card. But looking at this hand, that's okay, because all of our plays are 2-drops. It is on the draw, and we have all 3 colors, so I'll keep it. But this is not the aggro, smork hand I think I really want. Another land off the top, far from convenient, and a tapped Castle Embereth. And the opponent says go. If they are playing Flash, we're already in a world of hurt. But they might also have Growth Spiral. Let's hit next and see if there's a stick. There is. Okay, so they have a Growth Spiral, most likely here. So I'm going to run out the Worthy Knight and try to interfere with that Growth Spiral. The opponent says no, but they have a Brineborn Cutthroat. Okay, so they're playing the old version of Simic Flash before the hybrid ramp style took over. It's great to have a Worthy Knight on the field because we get to generate our 1/1 tokens even if our opponent counters our future knights. Okay, this is good. Let's run it out. Before combat, if my opponent uses a counter, I want to be able to hit the opponent for 2. Oh my. Oh my. And an unsummon. Wow, this is straight up smash aggro. Alright, you can enter tap. Let's say go. How aggressive does the opponent want to be? I don't think I want to trade my Worthy Knight, but I think my tokens need to keep my health total high. So we'll block the bigger ones and try to keep generating more and more 1/1s every turn. Our opponent misses a land drop, so they are on 4 non-land spells. I don't think they're a counter spell. I mean, it might be. Yeah, our opponent might have a counter spell. Let's play around Quench first by hitting our land drop. They know about this other Worthy Knight, so let's try to bring it out. A lot of Worthy Knights can gum up the board from these cutthroats, and I think that's going to be an important part of this game. And okay, that's going to resolve. Now the next thing we want to be careful about is getting our Worthy Knight ambushed in combat. If our opponent plays another cutthroat or an ambusher and trades with it, we can get it back with Order of the Midnight, which might be okay. We can also play an Inspiring Veteran, and if that resolves, our attack is probably too good for anything to ambush block. Our opponent may also have a Quench, which we can play around with Paragon. It's an interesting spot. I think what I'm going to do is hold on to Paragon and attack with Worthy Knight. And it doesn't look like the opponent has another ambush creature. A third one would be a bit much. I do suspect they have a Quench, so we'll say go. Okay, they do have a third cutthroat. Well, while they're tapped, we don't want to do this now, though. We want to do it when they attack. All right. We don't want to play any more spells on their turn, even if they might quench this. If they quench this on their turn, they don't get a counter, and we still get the tokens. I guess we really want this, though, to trade off with one of these cutthroats. All right, I'll play it now. The tokens can keep blocking the larger cutthroats all day long. But yeah, triple cutthroat. And a Spectral Sailor, the most aggro flash deck I think I've ever seen in my life. Let's see how they attack. Ooh, they're getting scared. Look at that. Holding back the giant Tarmogoyf cutthroats. So now, let's see, we need another red to use our castle. So we don't quite have that yet. The opponent likely wants to counter this veteran, but we can get it back with order. So let's start with trying to play the veteran. More tokens, please. And they do have the Essence Capture. What a ridiculous game. Alter Fate. Return the Inspiring Veteran. Send you into the Adventure Zone. Play a tapped land. Say go. Yeah, the opponent is getting to a point where they can't attack with these because we can chump block them and then turn around and attack the opponent for plenty. Speaking of attacking the opponent for plenty. Let's try this veteran again. Resolved almost too easily, but I'm still not a person who's brave enough to play Embercleave into open mana. That doesn't sound good to me. Let's keep building the board. Do we play one more? I think so. That Quench, though, we don't have to play it. Let's not. We've played around it all game. Ooh, they played out a Borrower. Okay. Okay. That either means they have another Borrower or they're getting a little desperate. Let's see. I don't think I'll ever get them to tap out. At some point, I just have to go for it. So, let's play you and just see what they do. They might start getting desperate here and try to counter, because this is a lot of damage. Okay. Alright, we'll make a move. It's time. It's time to attack. 9, 10, 11, plus 3, 14. Not lethal unless this Embercleave actually gets it. We don't die on the crackback, though, do we? Or because we attacked with everything, we do? Oops. Probably not my smartest hour. So right now the opponent's taking 12. I have 2 blockers for the way back. Yeah, that's not good. Probably should have held something off. Here's the cleave. Here's the counter. Here's the game. Wrecked. If only we had one more night. Or if only I'd held back one more creature. That was a big mistake. Down to 1. All they have to do is turn it all sideways. Let's see if they see it. Ah, the pain. I hate losing, hate Simic Flash. Should have won. Should have won. Good curve. Could be a turn 4 Embercleave. Yeah, we run this all day. Keep. Let's stop being on the draw, though. Why is it when I play aggro decks, it feels like every game is on the draw? It's one of those little things that you don't realize. When you have a bad event, you can look back and usually be like, oh wait, I was aggro, I was on the draw way more than normal. And you're like, well, maybe the deck isn't that bad. Maybe being on the draw is bad. Anyway, our opponent missed a land, which, promising. So we're just gonna keep running Knights at them until they die. Very deep strategy, forged in the hearts of Knights players. And they top deck the land just in time to bone crush the worthy Knight. What a champion. It's okay. We got more where that came from. Fodder for days. What's your next trick? Okay, dude. Whatever. All removal red. That's fine. We can grind. Let's get the contender moving. And there is a circle of loyalty. Let's make it happen. How you doing? Gotta put the pressure on sometime. They needed another removal spell there to keep us off the circle, but I knew they had to run out sometime. We could also keep contending. Nah. I don't have the mana. I'm a fail. Alright. So do I attack first? The opponent won't block, so it's a free damage. And I won't block with my Knight after spending the mana on an acclaimed contender, so I might as well get my damage. Sure. That's even better. If they want to chump, I am a happy guy. Let's contend again. Oh, my goodness. Look at all these charming cards. Let's grab another Knight of the Ebon Legion. We can play it this turn, you see. I could grab the Embercleave and just try to end the game. When the opponent sees that, I guess they have to leave up removal the rest of the game. Yeah, that's just better. That's just better. That's what we're here for. It's our best card, darn it. Now the opponent, how are they going to stop that? They're going to have to kill everything. And we've seen Acclaimed Contender really doing work here against an opponent trying to basically out-removal us. Acclaimed Contender laughs at that. Oh, they tap out to play the Bone Crusher Giant. Well, now they're in danger. Fifth land is nice. Means we only have to attack with one contender. We can leave one back to block if we want. Honestly, though, really, you can't... You only cast equipment. This is a legendary artifact. That's so weird. Alright, let's saddle up and ride. And they're going to take it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't think we have to move in just yet. Let them take this hit. Make a board. Make them beat the board next turn. Lifelink and Embercleave against red seems pretty good. Ooh. Death Touch. Embercleave gives Trample. That's the combo for sure. Embercleave and Paragon working together. I mean, they might have Torbrand here. And they do. Steam King can play a Bone Crusher Giant. I don't think that will save anybody. So plenty of misplays in this game. Oops Yeah, this is fine. Down to 8. Can you deal 8 with 1 card? I don't think so. If there were 2 cards, I'd have to think about it. Because a pair of Shocks, a pair of Skewer the Critics. But you're not going to deal 8 with 1 card. Third Tournament Grounds. Smash. You will not survive. The unblocked creature can have an Embercleave. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, easy mode. Ugh, so not a clean win by any stretch of the imagination. Taking the circle when I couldn't cast it was a pretty bad misplay. Pretty bad. Could have had another Smitten Swordmaster, which is darn good in the matchup. So, 2 matches, 2 misplays. Gotta... This is a very nice curve, and we're going first, baby. We still don't have double white for circle. Could have just played it with Tournament Grounds. But I want to establish the... If I draw a second white, I want to be able to play circle as soon as possible. Fervent Champ, huh? Let's get Loyal up in here. Let's get Inspired. Let's get Inspired. Brought my kid to the parade, gave you a speech. Now you really want it, right? Ooh. It's a very large creature that can block. That's not good. Let's use the Acclaimed Contender and find the Embercleave, shall we? Not yet. We do have another Veteran and another Paragon. Or a Paragon. So Paragon's applying Death Touch is definitely more useful when they don't see it coming. I think I'll take the Vet. And it looks like our opponent is on Dimir, which is a scary deck for certain. If they have a Cry of the Canarium, we have huge problems. If they hold up mana, they likely have a cancel-style counterspell. Thief of Sanity? Alright, we can outpressure that. So. That's unfortunate. Doesn't line up well with my mana. Oh, the mana in this deck. Alright. What else can we do? We can do 1 and 1. But then this is running right into the Gargoyle, which is a huge problem. So yeah, it's you. And it's you too. We gotta turn up the heat. Down to 8. And our opponent needs a big turn. They didn't use the Gargoyle. That's interesting. Okay. That is fine when they're so far behind on the board. They take the circle, which I can't cast. And now they hit me with Thief. They'll probably play one of my own Knights against me here. And 2 lands, so it's possible they hit a land. And there is another white source for me. So I can play Acclaimed Contender post-combat. Let's lead with the champion. 2 mana up, could be a Drown in the Loch for certain. Let's send the team and see what the opponent does about it. Let's pump the Venerable Knight. I know that the opponent wants to kill one of these, so we don't want to touch either one of those, or else our +1/+1 goes to waste. And if we put on the Contender, that's the most likely thing to be blocked. So the Venerable Knight's a good target. Pardon my voice. To try to free up some family time for the holidays, I'm trying to record 2 or more videos a day, which is about double the normal content at the busiest time of the year. So I'm pushing it to try to make sure that you guys have a Christmas with all the content you might want. But if I lose my voice a little along the way, or net deck a little harder than normal, you'll know why. You'll know why. All right, got him. Knights and Contenders, what more could you want? To be on the play. but, you know, if I complain about that every time, it might get old. It's probably old now. Oh, night-on-night crime. Suddenly being on the draw doesn't sound so bad. The mirror match, sometimes it's about who's on the play and who's on the draw, but oftentimes if you just play the same cards at each other, it just kind of matches up, and eventually the person with more cards wins. Of course, Stormfist Crusader kind of changes that. Whereas this Crusader makes sure we both just have lots of cards, and now that our opponent went first, they're the most likely to have an Embercleave sooner, which means we probably can't win. I could make a crazy attack with this and try, like, set stops and see if I can bluff a point of damage, but I don't think it's worth it. Having 2 blockers can hold off the Stormfist Crusader. And let's get a tap land on the battlefield. I could make it my white source, since I already have multiple red sources that are untapped. And no attacks. Pervy Champ. In Naruto, they call that character Pervy Sage. I always want to say Fervy Champ. Like I'd say Pervy Champ in Naruto. It's actually supposed to be funny. Not scary to any of you who haven't watched Naruto. Are we going big with the knight? That would be fine. That would take my opponent's whole turn. Or all their mana. They don't have double red for Embercleave yet. We'll be watching for that next turn. With 2 acclaimed contenders and a Castle Embereth, it feels like I could have the better long game, so I want... Okay, they just go straight up Murderous Rider. Okay. That's so they can attack with Stormfist Crusader, sure. So I'm feeling like I don't want to be the beatdown. Just having the knight back can hold off this knight if my opponent is spending mana to remove my creature. So let's play the contender and say go. And what do we find? Order of the Midnight's a decent grindy card and an aerial threat, which our opponent might be lacking in the matchup. But Knight of the Ebon Legion is just an insanely powerful card. And Double Fervent Champion certainly has a place as well. Right now, the Order of the Midnight is a Knight of the Ebon Legion, so I think I like taking this card and trying to play a longer game. I don't know if it will work out with this acclaimed contender, or not acclaimed contender, Stormfist Crusader drawing cards for both players. It seems like the game is probably going to end in a hurry in one way or another. That Drill Bit's, it's a good card, but it's not great here. And what the opponent takes might give me a hint of what they're thinking, but the take is probably a claim contender, and I have another. So it's not going to take me off my play next turn. Order of the Midnight, okay. I guess they do respect the flying threat, and they do fear a longer game. That implies that they don't have Embercleave yet. Maybe they don't have a dinosaur either. If this is the black-red version, they usually have something like Spawn of Mayhem or some giant creature. So if we block like this and the opponent has a Murderous Rider here, then they just kill the contender and I lose my knight, which is really bad. If I block like this, I can't because this has Menace. If I block like this, the opponent pumps this to a 4/5, kills both creatures, so that's not good. If I block like this, the opponent can pump just to kill my Knight of the Ebon Legion, and I trade 3 of their mana for 1 of my cards, which is actually really good, because next turn I can reload pretty well. And if I block like this, I force my opponent to pump the Knight of the Ebon Legion, and I trade my 3/3. I think it's better to do this. It doesn't force them to pump. They don't have to. This could just be a wash and we both get to keep our creature, but they go with the pump. Okay. So that gives me a lot of tempo. And with all these acclaimed contenders, that's nice. Alright, so here's the acclaimed contender. Another, I guess Worthy Knight can be really helpful here. We can play it next turn with a contender and start generating some creatures. Then we'll play the castle so that we keep working on getting our double red in play. Do we have double white, though? We don't. The opponent knows about the castle, though. It's not a surprise, and they know about the tournament grounds, too. I guess tournament grounds gives me more options next turn, but it does take castle away. So, yeah, we'll play castle here. Because now next turn, if we want to use castle for any reason, we can shock breeding pool and have it on the table. Do we want to get aggressive? I think it's that time. I think it's that time. The opponent gave up that tempo, and I think we just seize it now and get aggro on them. It's a good draw. If the opponent attacks with the knight again, and I have my contender, I'll definitely block the knight. See if the opponent's willing to continue throwing tempo into this. I haven't drawn Circle of Loyalty, and I haven't seen one with my contenders yet. My opponent has not drawn Embercleave, or if they do, they can't cast it, because they don't have the right mana. It's a very interesting, weird game, and they go aggro, and I'm blocking the knight. If you want to pump that, go ahead. Takes so much mana, and we're ahead on mana right now by 1. Blood Crypt tapped, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can get our opponent to 1 with 2 Inspiring Veterans, but I can't kill them. Ooh, I can get them to 1. They have a Stormfist Crusader on the battlefield. That is lethal. They would need a shock here or something to disrupt the veterans to punish this play. Your turn. That's the 3rd time in I think 2 or 3 days that I've killed someone with their own Stormfist Crusader. There are a few more rewarding feelings in Magic. Yeah, it's a curve, and we're going first. I don't know what more you could ask for in life. Hiya! Wait, that's not a knight thing. What's a knight thing? Charge! Weird. Man, I really hate losing my 1, 2, 3 curve. But if they're playing a discard deck, I don't think I get to keep this card anyway. Alright, on guard. Have at you! Rats. I'll prepare for Circle of Loyalty over Embercleave. Feels bad, man. Alright. Let's see if we can find an Anthem with this Acclaimed Contender, so that we don't have to trade with that stupid rat. I guess I'll take a Worthy Knight instead. Alright. Let's go. Stupid rat. That discard deck might be very effective against us. It's the one time where being on the play is bad because you have less resources to work with against a discard deck. For crying out loud. Not only that, their 1/1s actually trade really well with my creatures. Ooh, lucky. Trying to save for damage now. Let's see if they have a sweeper as well. Do they have the perfect draw against us? When you're a discard deck, the best thing you can do is sweep the board after they play out their stuff to avoid your discard spells. The worst thing is you keep on drawing discard effects after their hand is empty. People really like discard decks. Discard is a tool. It's not meant to be your whole deck, but every now and then things can line up perfectly. Here's Rankle. Rankle on the defense. Weird. Alright, I think we just keep attacking. Just throw everything at the opponent. Let them block what they want to block. Probably the Worthy Knight, makes sense, but put another 8 damage on them. Threaten lethal if their creature dies, or if we draw a pump effect or a mountain. Uh-huh. Of course. Midnight Reaper. Okay, if one of your creatures dies, you take a damage. That can be a thing. Let's see what we get. We're probably going to have to discard it, but we can try. Alright, attacks here. There's going to be a block. There's probably going to be a block. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Not enough. If the opponent wants to build into their board, they keep exposing themselves to more creatures dying, making the Reaper worse. They have Dread Presence? Okay. Do they have the Mountain? Or the Swamp, I mean? That makes drawing cards better when you can gain 2 life and kill a threat. That's really good. We need a big draw. Circle of Loyalty would be clutch. The opponent's thinking about this Rankle. They could attack, make me discard the Fervent Champion. Okay. They really slow-rolled that one, didn't they? They go after the 1/1. Alright. Okay, 2 more Knights. This one I'm sure we're playing. And this one I'm sure we're playing. I can pump one of these with the Champ. The opponent's at 10. The longer the game goes, the worse off I am, but the more cards they draw, the better off they are. I think we still wait one more turn. Because right now they go block, block, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They take 2, 7, 8. It's not quite enough. Let's make them have a big turn. I still can draw an Anthem effect. Any Circle of Loyalty or Inspiring Veteran is almost certainly GG. But next turn attacking with the Knight of the Ebon Legion and being able to pump it makes a big difference. It means they have to at least make 1 chump block instead of a trade. Double Reaper? Oh my god. I'm pretty sure you're gonna die by your own Reapers. The last card's not a Swamp. It's probably another discard effect. Alright, I'm going in. Going in. What could that last card be? And could it hurt me here? I don't think so. 2 mana removal ain't cast down anymore. That's for sure. Ain't even Moment of Craven. Ooh. You're gonna take a lot of damage with these blocks. 1, 2. 2 damage. 2 damage. 4 damage. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're dead. Unless they got it. They need a trick. Ow. 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 Theme of the day. Killing people with their own stuff. First the Stormfist Crusader, now the double Midnight Reaper. Being on the play with this hand, I really miss having a 1-drop, but I don't think it's a mulligan at all, so we'll keep. I also like saving Paragon for... It's really the closest thing I have to removal, so we'll probably play Veteran next turn, but we'll see what we draw first. Oh boy. It's like that, yo. Okay, so now, the Veteran is so likely to die, and I have 2 Paragons, that I'm going to flash out Paragon on end step and then play Contender, so that I definitely get the trigger. Because if I play Veteran and it dies, no trigger. Alright, that's annoying. This is going to be a tough one. A very tough one. And no, I didn't mean to block there. Worked out exactly as I planned. Let's drop the Contender. I guess Embercleave makes the opponent hold that mana up. I could also get more cheap creatures to be more mana efficient. The Fervent Champion and its first strike ability combined with Paragon very well. Also, the opponent might be killing my creatures, keeping me off Embercleave, so I'm going to go with the champion, and I don't love it, but let's be aggressive. Blocking isn't the greatest against red. They always have removal, they always have Rimrock Knights, they always have stuff. So we'll be aggressive if we can. Double Steamkin. E. Well, I mean that's far from devastating. Let's turn up the pressure while they can't play anything. Who wants the buff? You. Because the opponent doesn't really want to get in front of this. They don't have good blocks on any of this. They might have a good counter attack. We're at 18 though. It's a lot to ask for them to get all the way through. And then they still need defensive bodies. There's the shock. I mean, that's a good start. They need another 1-drop here to activate the Steamkin mana. And then it will be interesting to see if they attack and with how many creatures. Just you? Looks like they do have the Rimrock Knight for the extra damage. That can't block though, but they can probably play out the rest of their hand with double Steamkin. Okay, Spitfire. Spitfire's probably an issue. More mana. War Boss post-combat. Sure. So how do they block and with what? What do I pump? I can't kill them unless they're idiots. So, gotta take that idea off the board. Paragon's going to get blocked by the Fervent Champion. First strike, just not very good here, so you may as well not attack. We attack with you. We have Paragon for the lifelink that can take out something, and the 3/3 is a problem. So I'm attacking with you too. See how the opponent wants to play it. Just that? Interesting. Ah. Alright, let's get it off the board. Lifelink and Death Touch takes out one of the Steamkins. Fervent Champion is gone. I don't think we need to shock here. I think every life point might be valuable, but then again, board position's valuable too. Our opponent only has 1 card. We go down to 11, and they zap face. Actually, I do think we shock here. I think if we don't, we're being too conservative. But we'll see if it costs me. I think we have to stay aggressive here and get everything onto the board. That last card, if it's a doozy, if it's a really good one, oh my. Oh my. Is that lethal? Does the opponent remember to spend their Steamkin mana? No. But is it enough anyway? 1, 2. There's a Mentor trigger. 9, 8. It's not enough. The opponent didn't spend their Steamkin mana. They choked. Am I missing anything? I almost lost the game on that to Cavalcade. Almost. They should have spent their Steamkin mana. The silly things that red decks do, everybody. For good measure. Just to be sure. Always be sure. Champ, Paragon, Contender, on the play. Keep it, keep it, keep it. What? Oh yeah, you get this with a pre-order bundle. This is the first one I've seen though. Do something, I'm clicking on you. If that's all it does, I'm very disappointed. Hi Cerebus. Cerebus, right? You Greek mythology champions out there? Or Harry Potter fans? Alright. It's just flash in a Paragon, right? So we can kind of hide the Paragon with the Sacred Foundry. We can also just drop Order of the Midnight, and if our opponent's playing Cat Oven, Order of the Midnight's way more, gets more damage in. So I actually like this a lot. Get your flyer down. Get your flyer down and get your points over the top. Gross. Alright, well we have the Paragon. Slightly hidden by the tournament grounds. No black source appearing on the field. So we'll see if the opponent has the guts to block the Fervent Champion. Hey-ya. Combo. First strike, Death Touch, killing the Priest of the Forgotten Gods before it can touch the Fervent Champion. The opponent could have thrown it in the oven to prevent the lifelink and have a food, but they didn't. And now, Venerable Knight. And the pressure is real. The pressure is real. It's a lot of damage coming your way. Mayhem Devil. Really good against us. Absurdly good against us, to be honest. Ooh, that helps. And I think we just slam it. I think that Contender's a little slow and that we want to get our things too big for the Devils. Sacrifice to hit. And I think everybody goes. The opponent has a good block on Fervent Champion. I think we just have to give it up here for the damage. Down to 4. Land for turn. All right. They need to make the magic happen. They need to make a miracle. It's comeback time. If the Mayhem Devil's gonna do its work, now is the time. They are in a decent spot. If they have claimed the Firstborn, they can steal the Veteran, sacrifice it, and kill something else. We've seen Midnight Reaper. It's been our best card. I guess we could hit a Fervent Champion off this, so we should play this first. I mean, it looks like we've got him. Never hurts to be sure. It's the only play we have anyway. And the opponent just wants to scoop it up. So yeah, I was pretty sure we had him. I don't know what they could do other than like shock, sack. They still take 3 in the air. If they kill this though with the shock, they take 2. But yeah, got it. All right, Fervent Champion, Worthy Knight, let's go. Saddle up and ride. Hallowed Fountain. Doesn't mean they're playing blue-white control, does it? Pressure, pressure, pressure. Probably means they're playing blue-white control. So, both Brazen Borrower and Quench are really good at us, and so is Absorb. How we play this game against these controlling cards is going to make a big difference in how this game plays out. We could run out the Worthy Knight, hope for the best, or we could play the flash game right away and make these early turns very awkward. It's actually a really tough choice. If we were on the play, we'd be running away with this game, but now we have a tough decision. And I think the decision I'm going to go with is to flash the Blacklands Paragon. These can be a really good way to rebuild a board after a time wipe. Sky Tether. Enchant creature has Defender and loses flying. Okay. Sure. It's an early removal spell. I've seen some people try to make it work, but it doesn't remove a card from the board, which, you know, things like Acclaimed Contender can still take advantage of that. Our opponent still has 2 mana up. We can't play around a Quench. Let's attack. See if they do anything about the Paragon. We can't play around Quench anyway. Let's go for the Acclaimed Contender, the mana efficient play. Resolves, excellent. Okay, we're looking for something that can create card advantage. Order of the Midnight certainly can, but Paragon and its flash ability is really good against a control deck. So I actually think it's still Paragon here, even though they know it's coming. They can wrap the board, and when they tap out to do that, we flash in a Paragon. And then the damage keeps hitting their face, even when they are trying to get away from it, and they pass. All right. So right now, Smitten Swordmaster hits for 3, which is pretty good. I don't know that we want to commit any more to this board when we're already winning, and we have a Paragon we can commit at instant speed. So let's attack. Opponent might well take the hit. Or at least they might take the hit. They're thinking about it. Brazen Borrower the Paragon. Okay. Can replay it at instant speed. But now that that's off the board, and they didn't have a Quench last turn, I think I want the Worthy Knight, because now we can also gain an extra 1/1 by Paragoning. And then we pass and play the Paragon game. All those years playing control decks, I really feel like I know how to attack them. It's kind of mean, but it's Ender Wiggins. If you haven't read the book Ender's Game, it's one of my favorites. And he says that to defeat his enemy, he must know them so well that he learns to love them. To paraphrase a very famous quote from the book. To defeat this enemy, I know it so well, I love this enemy, but yet it must die. All right, I think we resolve an Acclaimed Contender because we can and play the Flash game again. It's our most expensive card. It's a card advantage card. And now there's an Embercleave. Embercleave is great, but I feel like I feel like they can't beat the Paragon game. They just can't beat it. It just keeps going. So yeah, let's keep torturing them with flash creatures until the end of time. Embercleave is just a big commitment into something that might get bounced. Ooh. All right. Here we go. You got a counter? No. Teferi is a problem. We'll have to decide whether or not to remove Teferi. Our opponent clearly doesn't have a Quench, though. It's unclear if they have another Borrower. They don't really want to bounce the Contender, do they? Gets me another card. So I can kill my opponent if I can resolve a Knight and the Smitten Swordmaster ability. And I say we try to do that first, because I'm going to go face and probably not after Teferi. So let's see if they counter the Contender. No. And that resolved really easily. Grab the Circle. Circle's time to shine? Probably not. Alright. See if this resolves. On the stack and waiting on the stack. The opponent has a veto. Yep. So we did all that before attacking on purpose, so that we know whether or not to kill Teferi. We need to get our flash game back for the Paragons. And now the opponent can have a decent Wrath. Let's see if they have another time wipe. Another Teferi. Card off the top, Tranquil Cove, crucial life point, up to 7. They could have another Dovin's Veto. These decks often run multiples, which could catch the Circle of Loyalty. So instead, let's go for the castle. And that one of castle I snuck into the deck. Doing the job against blue-white control. Is that wins? What we got here? 7 wins. Hallelujah. Look at those beautiful gems. I thought I'd get my 4th Embercleave. That would have been legendary, but let's, for those of you who hung around, let's crack this pack. Oh, wait. I hate that so much. Like this, network error. When I try to open this pack that I won in the event, if you're wondering where I got these, you could have played that after party event that had some of those Theros cards. Anyway, I'm sure you saw some videos on it. Anyway, we'll top off the mastery tree. Lock me in this Yorvo. Lock me in this beast. And crush this Great Henge. Mastery complete for the season. Yay! I hope you enjoyed this video with Mardu Knights. I certainly did, smashing face, and actually with plenty of decisions to make along the way. I certainly cost myself a game because of those decisions, but rallied and won 7. I think I got a little better with the deck as time went on. As can be expected, when you get to practice a deck multiple days in a row, you should get better at it. It's part of the experience. So today's thank you goes out to hauntedflower.com, which is kind of weird to thank because it's my own company. I've been running it for over 11 years, but we sell licensed apparel. You can find us at hauntedflower.com, where we're selling Magic the Gathering apparel and some novelty socks on our own website. You can use the promo code CGB there for 10% off. Makes for great Christmas gifts, although we're cutting it very close to the holidays. We do package most of the things you see in that store by hand, so we can get them shipped out as quickly as possible. Also, I would mention that if you're looking for faster delivery and a wider selection, we sell a lot more things on Amazon.com. So if you look for Haunted Flower on Amazon, I'm sure a bunch of our items will come up, and I hope you check them out. So, thank you very much to all of you for all the support this year. I'm probably going to say thank you a lot in December. I'm just feeling very grateful. It's kind of amazing to be a content creator for you all. And with that said, the next color challenge tomorrow, I'll put what it is in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.